Hello, Duelist. Welcome back to Old Format Yu-Gi-Oh's first ever Edison format tournament. Sadly, we are in round 1, match 7 right now because the recordings for the other ones have been lost to time, or we only have a partial of the recordings. But round 2 and especially round 3 going forward, we pretty much have all the recordings, so it shouldn't be much of a issue getting there. Down here in the bottom, we have Suicide X13, aka Dan, versus InstaFluffs up here in the blue, aka Noel. Dan decided to bring Diva Hero, Vayu Turbo, Gladiator Beasts, and Dark Gaia. However, his Vayu Turbo was banned. Meanwhile, Noel decided to bring Diva Hero, Zombie Angels, Hero Bee, and Fairies, with his Hero Bee getting banned. And let's get into game 1. Leave Noel on the die roll. Pause after he draws. Oh, that was slow on my part, but let's go through it. So he opened Diva, Alias, Brain Control, Wing Blast, Mirror Force, and Sangan. Pretty solid hand all around, not gonna lie. Starting off on Diva Hero, it looks like. Meanwhile, Dan, starting off on Dark Gaia, opening Decree, very strong in this matchup. Gores, Hand Destruction, Dark Calling, Doom, Callan, Card Destruction. One issue, though, I see is that the Gores with the Decree does not work too well, but we'll get there. Doom Cal immediately goes back. Hand Destruction is going to hit that Diva and Brain Control. He's going to get rid of the Gores, so he circumvents that problem. Ooh, Gores and Decree, interesting. So he might be going for the OTK right now, but he misses. It's going to card D for 2, hit a Future Fusion, which is pretty strong. And then pretty much bricks off this, because I don't believe he now has a rock or can Dark Calling use cards in hand. It can actually, so he can go for the combo, looks like. And he will. It's going for Dark Gaia. Now, Dark Gaia's going to get Mirror Force, but you're going to see it comes out with, I think it's 6,700 attack, and it does piercing. However, Mirror Force. So, sucks for Dan right now, and I mean, like, looking at this board state, it's not looking good for Dan. I'm going to fast forward through this pretty quickly, because these matches can get a bit long. Noel's going to get in for 28. Set 2, Dan top deck start calling, Kaya get rid of the Hand Destruction, Sangan search Diva, get in for more damage. And top deck Samandra, which is a game. Alright, see you back in game 2. Alright, we are back with game 2, and let me check the history real quick. There we go. This is going to be Fairies versus Gladiator Beasts. Dan takes first, and Noel had to announce what he was playing, which is Fairies. Let's go next place. We get a card. Good. Dan opens up a Quest, Lakari, Judgment, Test Tiger, Bestiary, and Darius. This hand honestly is pretty bad. Let's be honest here. I know recently a lot of the community, especially E3 Yugioh, hasn't been liking Gladiator Beasts. They've been hating on them a bit, and for good reason. They just haven't been working out too well. Judgment is the one trap card, which is a good card, but not really on its own. Meanwhile, Noel, on the other hand, has an Angel, Honest, Bottomless, Return, and Deprison. Pretty good for the monsters, and Shining Angel searches whatever you need. Probably a D-Alk if it ever dies. Let's see, we're going to see Bestiary, Test Tiger. Summon Lakari, 2100, set Judgment, send Shining Angel in, drop the Honest immediately. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that, but hey, it works. And set 3. Gonna see a Lakari into the Judgment, makes sense, gotta protect that card. Activate D Fissure, pretty strong, into the D Prison though, sadly. I remember with Dan's list here, which you could probably find down in the description after I add them there. He's playing kind of like macro Gladiator Beasts, just to try to combat the meta a bit. Which is, I mean, it's pretty strong against Fairies, let's be honest. It's going to Synchro for Catastor, which is an incorrect number, as you may have seen a second ago. It's going to go into Goyo, but you'll notice that Noel here had a pretty good play with the Return from Different Dimension. He's going to get back the Angel and the Herald of Orange Light and the Shining Angel, because they're banished by D-Fissure and could either attack or just sink again, which is game, because Dan bricked. See you back in game 3. Alright, game 3 here. Dan is going to be on his Gladiator Beast with Noel on Zombie Fairies. Now, Zombie Fairies is one of the tier 4 decks that we had in our draft system. And it's not that good, in my opinion. I just got the idea and I put down like we had like 40 ideas for tier 4 decks. And most of them were taken from some of the E3 Yu-Gi-Oh videos where they were just random decks that Keegan decided to try and thought they'd be cool. So this is like a Zombie World Christia kind of deck. It revolves around putting Christia in grave and trying to bring it back with like Book of Life and stuff like that. But we'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, Dan opened up War Chariot, Dark Bride, Bottomless, D-Fissure, and Lakari, Darius. That's a pretty solid hand, honestly, if you're playing Gladiator Beasts. Traps and Monster. Noel's going to open Dialk, Zombie Master, Spirit Reaper, Soul Purity and Light, Book of Life, and Terraforming, which is probably going to search a zombie world. Let's see if he can play through this. He's going to set Reaper, activate zombie worlds, set Book of Life as a bluff. However, Gladiator Beasts are pretty good against Reaper because they get their effects off. And we're going to see that here. We're going to see a Bestiari, Murmillo pop Reaper, Bestiari pop Book of Life. And he's not going to synchro for, what's his name, Gazaris here, because it could pop the zombie world, but I think they know each other's lists and they know that the zombie world isn't too strong right here because there's no grave and there's not going to be a grave with D-Fissure. So you can kind of just sit on this and be fine, I feel. Galmanzom's going to get in, beat over Murmillo. Dan doesn't really care. However, he's going to see a War Chariot here when it tries to mill the card, which I think is just a creative way to get rid of zombie. It's going to send that back. Now for the Gizaris, pop World, go for 24, summon 2 from deck. Infinite advantage. Get back that Chariot because D-Fissure only banishes traps. And now you're playing against Glad Beast with the D-Fissure and set 4 back row that are all real. So this game's probably not going too well. DL gets summoned, banish Herald, attack over a quest, but we get deprisoned. Test Tiger, go for Secutor. I think, does Dan try to activate Secutor? I don't remember here. He does, which, doesn't it get its effect? Yes, it does. Just this is the one that has to be specialed first, so it's a bit weird. But hey, when an open board state happens, right, why not go for it? And yeah, Secutor doesn't even send itself back to deck. So Dan wins pretty easily in this one, seeing game 4. All right, we're back with game 4 here, and Dan is once again going to go... Oh, sorry, Dan is going to go second. Noel's going to go first because he just lost. He's on Zombie Fairies, open up Christia, D-Alk, DD Warrior Lady, Bottomless, Raikou, and Rain Control. I'd like to see more traps, but all in all, pretty solid grip, I'd say. Dan meanwhile is on Diva here with Malicious, Miracle, MST, Prodigy, and Diva. I think the hand's okay. You could go for kind of a little combo here with Special, Prodigy, Diva, into something, go for a 6 or a 7, but it seems fine. The hand's not amazing. So we're going to see set Raikou, set BTH into MST. Good. Yeah, we're going to see some synchroing here. Go into Cataster, go into Ab-Zero, start attacking, pop Ab-Zero off. Noel does mill Christia, which is actually important for the zombie world's Book of Life play if that comes up, but we'll see if it does. Going to see a set D-Alk, which does nothing. I don't really agree with that. I agree with what he's doing right now, just summon D-Alk, banish a card, because maybe you get advantage off of it, minus a little bit of damage. Actually, you don't take any damage because Cataster kills it before damage. So, not quite a fan of that play. Going to see another D-Alk, attacks before it banishes, another misplay on Noel's part. It's quite disappointing because Snowman Eater takes that out. We're going to see a Rhoda for Stratos, Stratos for Prodigy, get in for 4k, never mind, get in for a lot more, and I believe that is lethal because of Ab-Zero being at 3k. Oh, never mind, just short. So we see set Raikou, Brain Control, and I'm just going to fast forward through this because we know this is game no matter how he does it, basically. Mill's nothing of importance. Alright, so we're going down to a game 5. Alright, once again, Noel is going to take first. Alright, he's going to start off with Pyramid Turtle, Soul Purity and Light, Book of Life, Herald of Orange Light, Brain Control, and a Foolish Burial. Hand's fine, I think. I think any hand with a Recruiter and some kind of Book of Life is good. Meanwhile, Dan back on Dark Gaia, Upstart, Allure, Valkyrie, and Royal Decree, Dark Calling. Decree being the big one here, the rest kind of hard to tell because these are just tutors for other cards. Let's see what happens. So we're going to see a Foolish Burial for a Plague Spreader, thin the deck a bit. I don't know if that was necessary because I feel like what if you draw like... What's that called? Not what if you draw. You drew Book of Life. You could have sent Christia next turn. Instead, I think you just leave it there and don't do anything. So we're going to see Upstart, Trade In, Heavy, get rid of the Book of Life. Yeah, and even just thinking about it now, knowing what each person is playing and knowing the deck lists, Dan knows, or rather, Noel knows that Dan doesn't really play any, like, major back row removal besides, like, Decree and Heavy. I don't know if there's much of a point in setting the Book of Life there. Like, I don't know. It just... Knowing that also Dan plays a bunch of draw cards, like, might just draw it, and then you're going to be sad because you could have gotten something back. So, you mean you could have gotten Christia back if you rip a zombie world or something, or terraforming? Either way, let's see what the card destructions get them. Dan's going to draw a Decree and Trade In. Not really good. Noel's going to draw Thunder King, Christia, and Zombie World. So that Book of Life would have been nice right now. I mean, granted, it was set, so ironically, it does work out with card destruction, but who knows. Dan right now, I believe, has Bricked, though, unless he wants to Allure of Darkness, which he's actually going to, and he does hit, but he doesn't hit enough. So, scarily enough, Dan is going to be lower, even though I already was with the Upstart, so Megamorph is online. Getting for 12, 12, and 19. Dan has nothing here. Noel fully knows that if he's looking at the deck list. And, well, now we're off to the races a bit, and the only thing protecting Noel right now is a Book of Moon, so let's see what happens. We're going to see a Mandrew, which he Book of Moons a bit early, sadly. And now we're going to see Megamorph into game. And Dan wins the match. It's quite a quick one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one, duelists.